This is a segment from one of the most impactful episodes of Globebusters that I have ever seen. Here we are reviewing this video done by PBS, where they are directly saying that Einstein claimed gravity is an illusion.
Suppose I drop an apple. According to Isaac Newton, the ground can be considered at rest, Earth applies a gravitational force to the apple, and that force causes the apple to accelerate downward. But according to Einstein, there's no such thing as a gravitational force.
As flat earthers, you can see why that should make our ears ring. For some reason or another, we've been fighting the theory of gravity for ages. So if we're all about confirmation bias, we should love Einstein, right? He should be our best pal. Wrong. This is a testament that we are not all about confirmation bias. There's more to this, and we actually despise Einstein, despite him saying many things that would seem to be in our favor. This quote from Einstein's book, How I Created the Theory of Relativity, is a good example. I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment, though the Earth is revolving around the Sun. That's a great quote that we should all carry around in our back pockets. He is acknowledging that there is no proof that the Earth is moving, but claims it is, with nothing more than faith to go on. So we should all love Einstein, right? Well, let's hear him out first on gravity.
There's no such thing as a gravitational force. Instead, it's more appropriate to think of the apple as stationary, and the ground, along with everything on the ground, as accelerating upward into the apple. Now, what I just said sounds preposterous and maybe even moronic.
So Einstein is claiming there is no proof of Earth movement, yet claims Earth movement is the thing responsible for creating the effect that we call gravity. It's something I always laugh at because it wouldn't work on a globe without tearing it to pieces. It's one more reason why you'd think would really like Einstein. But it's this whole concept of the Earth rising upward and not being stationary that really just rubs us the wrong way. Though there seems to be more and more flat earthers these days that seem to be adopting that line of thought. I've talked a lot about that in the past, but that's not really the thing I want to talk about today. That was the beginning of the video, but I'm going to talk about something more near the end of the video.
Maybe gravity, just like that backward jolt on the train, is an illusion.
I don't think so, Tim.
Simpler? Now Newton says, nice try, Einstein, but you forgot something.
If you got
Earth is round.
Okay, so throughout this video that we are reviewing, Dr. Perezgues here is going back and forth on the differing perspectives of Newton and Einstein, doing a kind of debate between their views. Right now, he's talking about Newton's view.
Down isn't really down, it's radially inward, and this creates two problems with thinking about freely falling frames as inertial or thinking about gravity as an illusion. First, two objects in a falling box are falling toward Earth on not quite parallel radial spokes. So from the perspective inside the box, they won't actually remain stationary.
He's saying if you drop three different objects from space, the three different objects will gradually get closer together as they come closer to the Earth.
Yeah, right. The only problem with that is that has never been proven ever. In fact, the R value has never been proven ever. So any consequent, anything that you derive from that, like this, is not real. Okay? Again, it's just very imaginative thinking with absolutely zero experimental or physical proof for backing. There is none. Okay? So, just dream on, Gabe. Dream on. Let's continue.
They accelerate toward each other slightly, even though there are no forces on them, in seeming violation of F equals ma.
Okay, so we have our three objects that gradually get closer to each other as they come closer to the ground, and he is saying that is a violation of Newton's second law, F equals ma. All of this while speaking on behalf of Newton. So Newton debunks Newton, or the globe. There's a lot of reasons why this video makes my ears ring.
Second, by your criterion, Einstein, orbiting frames of reference, like on the space station, should also be considered inertial. But those frames accelerate relative to frames that are just falling straight down. And if you recall the beginning of the episode, inertial frames aren't supposed to accelerate relative to each other. Huh, that's a good point.
That's a mouthful. And it certainly makes me wonder how any kind of continuous orbit would be possible if it was the Earth that was continually rising up to those objects in space. Not that I believe in space, I'm just trying to give the globe a chance here.
So it looks like game over for Einstein, right? Well, not quite. It turns out...
Okay, guys, here it is. This is where Einstein wins this hypothetical discussion with Newton, right? About the idiotic notion of Earth, of the Flat Earth Society's credited, thing of Earth rising at 9.8 meters per second squared. And how does he win this debate? Well, he says that the little trick to it, the caveat to it, is that you have to be in a flat world or a flat universe, a flat construct, or a flat Earth. Okay? He says this, you're about to hear it. And so anybody ever, hits you with that stupid Flat Earth Society stuff, again, point them directly at Einstein and this guy and the mainstream world that is trying to tell us that this is actually happening even on a ball. So here it comes. Here comes the big kicker for the Einstein, going to kick the field goal out of the park and win this. Flat Earth forever.
Aren't supposed to accelerate relative to each other. Huh, that's a good point. So it looks like game over for Einstein, right? Well, not quite. It turns out that there's a loophole that makes Einstein's viewpoint self-consistent. The rule that inertial frames can't accelerate relative to each other...
This is Newton's second law, the whole F equals ma thing.
...turns out only to be true if the world has what's called a flat geometry. If in...
What?
Newton's second law only works if the Earth is flat. And that is him saying that. Dr. Perez from PBS.
I mean, can you believe this? I had to play that again just because it's like, what?
Can't accelerate relative to each other turns out only to be true if the world has what's called a flat geometry.
Man, if it was all down to confirmation bias, we should really be loving this guy.
If instead, the world is a non-Euclidean and curved spacetime, then straight line at constant speed doesn't mean what you think it means. And it turns out that inertial frames in a curved spacetime can do almost anything they want.
Right, so a straight line at constant speed doesn't mean what you think it does, because what it really means is a changing speed in a curved line. That's right. What he's saying.
Meanwhile, he's got a cartoon behind him of like a piece of bubble gum going down a green funnel telling you that's what Earth's doing. And, straight lines aren't what you think they are. If Earth is in this cartoon behind me, it's...
I know.
I want what he's smoking.
And now we're getting into gravity wells, which we know aren't a perfect representation of the whole concept of bending and warping space-time, because it's all one directional, and the concept is that gravity should be warping it towards the center of the ball, not below it. We acknowledge that. Nonetheless, there are still some major problems in play here.
It took Einstein about 7 years to realize that. But once he did, a beautiful model of the world emerged called general relativity. It makes several predictions that Newton's theory of gravity does not, and so far, it has passed all its experimental tests.
Yeah, name
one. One of the
one.
central precepts of general relativity is that we inhabit a curved spacetime. And in that curved spacetime, the orbit of the ISS is a constant speed straight line. The arc of a basketball during a...
In that curved spacetime, the orbit of the ISS is a constant speed straight line, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that the ISS is not falling around the Earth at all. No. It's going in a straight line from some bizarre, perverted perspective, and it's only space-time that's curving around, and our senses are completely deceived, right? So even the astronauts, when they think they're going around the ball of the Earth, no. They're just experiencing space-time curvature, right?
Well, they don't understand the definition of orbit, because obviously orbit doesn't mean that you're going in a curve at all. Completely the opposite. It means straight line.
Oh, jeez. It is truly believe. I mean, double speak all the way to the end. All right, let me finish this out.
This is why people drive with masks alone in their car.
Right?
In a straight line, though, only.
That's right.
A three-point shot, constant speed, straight line. But you, sitting perfectly still in this chair watching this video, you, my friend, are accelerating, giving you the impression that there's a force of gravity when in fact no such thing exists.
Yeah.
Good night, man. That's just crazy. What he said was that if you're watching the NBA game and the guy shoots a free throw, the ball's moving in a constant straight line. Did he really say that, or did I hear him wrong? But me sitting in my chair, I'm in a trajectory, or what did he just say? I'm sorry.
I'll back it up again. Let's try.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
General relativity is that we inhabit a curved spacetime. And in that curved spacetime, the orbit of the ISS is a constant speed straight line. The arc of a basketball during a three-point shot, constant speed straight line. But you, sitting perfectly...
So, no, they're saying that an arc is really a straight line. Just like flat is really... curved is really level, right? The same horse we hear from ballers, right? Level is curved, flat is a straight line, or flat is not a straight line, flat is a curved line, on and on and on. Everything is backwards from what it is.
You never used the old curve level on the construction site, guys? Come on. Get the curve level.
Now wait, just think about this for a second. You are beneath the rim. Okay, the rim is horizontal. The ball goes in through the top. There is no way a straight line is going to put that ball into that hoop. Sorry, just saying.
Well, unless space-time is curved, and we've all seen that, right?
Unless the hoop is moving, the whole hoop is turning for the ball, you know?
I know.
This is just...
it's beyond belief, man. It's like, and the ballers are out there going, yeah, man, see, man, that's totally the way it works, man. We got this. We got it. Yeah. Like, oh, you morons. All right, let's finish it out.
Still in this chair watching this video, you, my friend, are accelerating, giving you the impression that there's a force of gravity when in fact no such thing exists. Wait a minute. How can geometry and straight lines possibly work the way I just said? Patience, Grasshopper. We'll tackle that another time. For now, just reflect.
Patience, Grasshopper.
Just enjoy the washing we gave you right now.
Yeah. Just, how does
Just
that
marinate
feel?
in that wash. That nice brainwashing.
I feel like I need a shower.
I know, right?
Based on some of his claims, you'd think we would love Einstein. But as you pull out the magnifying glass and start to inspect his claims further, we can tell that cheese is poisoned, and we don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Yet, oddly enough, it's the globalists who absolutely love Einstein and just can't get enough of him. Einstein's the smartest man in the world, and we've got to hold on to his brain to study it and find out what made him so smart. If Einstein said it, it must be true.
Curved is not straight, ladies and gentlemen. It's just curved is curved, straight is straight, and this is nothing more than sophistry, trying to confuse you. And that's exactly what it is. This is the textbook definition of sophistry. All right.
Which, of course, is what the word NASA means in Hebrew.
To deceive, yes.
Or the other way of putting it is, if we can't dazzle you with our brilliance, we will try to baffle you with our bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now pay attention to this more traditional gravity well demonstration.
Explanation for gravity is that matter bends space. And so you put mass in a place in space, it warps space-time, and objects are not feeling a force of gravity, they're just following the natural curvature. And so you put matter and it warps space-time. And so if I have another object, it also warps space-time. They feel that and they're attracted to each other.
Okay, it's interesting how they both meet in the middle. If you've ever slept on a trampoline at night, you tend to gravitate towards the middle of that trampoline.
And so that's Einstein's picture of gravity. Objects warp space-time, feel that curvature, and move accordingly. And if you have more mass...
You're right there on that.
If you have more mass, it's going to bend space-time more. And so if you have objects here gravity are going to respond to that, right? And so you put something there, now it's attracted.
Okay, that's the next concept. The greater the slope, the greater the speed of the falling object. So if you were to have a medium-sized object roll down towards the heavy object in the center, it would have a deeper slope and would fall faster than a small object. According to this theory, the bigger the object is, the faster it should fall, because it has a deeper slope. But what would happen if you were to roll down a medium-sized object right next to a small object? They would share the same gravity well and experience the same effects, accelerating at the same rate. So, if I were to stand next to a tank, I should be standing in its gravity well and be experiencing the same effects as the tank, causing me to feel just as heavy as that tank, experiencing things very differently than me just being by myself. Sorry, Einstein. With shoutouts to our Flat Earth friends at jdecals.com and the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
It's the perfect gift for friends, family, and complete strangers. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent.